Good evening, fellow maulers. John Lanning, IPMS for Crook. I'm here with another inbox review. If anybody that keeps track of the Facebook IPMS for Crook page, earlier this year I did announce that Special Hobby sprung a surprise and announced a 72nd scale F-84F model kit was on the way. Well, it's here. It's been released. It's been on their website for the last couple of weeks for sale. I did just get my copy in today. And here is the kit. This is the first boxing. And this is all U.S. Air Force markings for this particular boxing. Um, just before I received this, I did receive news that they did announce a second boxing of this model kit. The second boxing is for Operation Musketeer / Operation Kadesh. I do believe the reason why they announced it so quickly is because the anniversary of the Suez Crisis is coming up, and they decided to get a release as soon as they possibly can. Anyway, I got the kit right here. It is 4 gray sprues, 1 clear sprue, set of decals, an instruction sheet. There is no photo etch, there is no resin, and there is no masking for this particular kit. So anyway, about the aircraft, the F-84F. Well, it is a NATO mainstay. It's one of the first pan-NATO aircraft built in the U.S. by Republic Aviation back in the 1950s, started around the 1952-53. It came pretty close. It's a transonic aircraft. It didn't exactly break the speed barrier going level flight, but it basically it mated the F-84E/G with swept wings, which gave it better speed. Anyway, over 1,300 were sent to NATO air forces. Pretty much almost every nation in NATO operated the type. France, Italy, Germany, the Danish operated the RF-84 version. Great, Turkey, uh, the Netherlands, Norway, Belgium. Also, Norway only operated the reconnaissance version as well. But anyway, the aircraft was pretty much it was a mainstay in the 1950s throughout the 1960s. Eventually, it began going out of service in the 1970s. The last one in U.S. Air Force service was an RF-84s that were operated by the 155th Reconnaissance Squadron here in Nebraska. But the last RF-84F was retired from Greek Air Force service in 1991. So it had a pretty decent lifespan. The fighter version, though, was taken out of service before the RFs were. But anyway, we got the sprues right here. I've got the kit open, and we will take a look at them. What we're going to do here is we're going to take a first look at the fuselage here. Take the key here for you. Here's the first sprue. Now, I'm pretty sure I can see a little bit there, but you see the delicate panel lines inside the fuselage right there. So, and of course, this is the fuselage. Here's part of the spine right here. The tail planes, the intake, main landing gear doors, some of the landing gear stuff right here as well. The exhaust pipe. Now, what I've noticed here with this particular sprue is, and I've been noticing it with some of the other model manufacturers as well. In the past, in order to facilitate rapid production of the kit, they would just split the aircraft down the middle, and then you'd have to join the sides of the fuselage there, sand it down, fill it, and then you'd have to rescribe all the panel lines. Well, I've seen it with this right here in certain areas, like for instance, right in the back here, behind on the spine of the fuselage here, you got the spine plug. So instead of mating it in the center here to where you'd have to fill this portion in and sand it down and stuff like that, you just mount it right here, so that saves you all the time and effort in sanding and filling this portion of the fuselage right here. And this is where the tail is going to be, so they'll probably be covered anyway. So all you have to worry about right here is this front portion of the nose. Unfortunately, though, you still have to worry about the underside, so you still have to do some sanding and filling on that as well, or rescribing when you get done. But it doesn't, it reduces some of the workload in getting the fuselages together. Now, here's the inside of the fuselage there. I'm not sure if you can, there you go. Should probably be able to see it with that, but there's no detail on the inside there. So, like any switches and stuff that'll be mounted like toward the top, toward the top near the fuselage here. There's nothing there. So that's the first sprue. Here's the second sprue. This is mostly fuel tanks. A little bit of the exhaust right here. Some of the pylons. More pylons here. But you got your long range fuel tanks and then shorter range fuel tanks right here. And then you have this. I'll be honest, I do not know what this is. I mean, it looks like a fuel tank. I don't think it is. Uh, I don't even recall if these things were used to as emergency tankers. I doubt it. If anybody has any idea what these two would be, please let me know. That'd be nice to know. I haven't been able to find pictures of it either online, so I'm not really sure what it is. So, and I kind of figure if it's a fuel tank, there'd be two of them and not just one. So, I don't know. Could it be a part of a target tug kind of thing? They figure there'd be more parts to it than that, but and the instructions don't show you how to use that, so I don't know what it is. Possibly in a future boxing we'll figure it out. That's the second sprue. This is the third sprue. It's all the wings, top and bottom, and then you got your tail right here. And then I think this is probably goes inside the for the nose landing gear, doors. So that's the third one, and then here's the fourth one here. This is going to be your cockpit stuff. This is going to be your ejection seats right here, here. It comes with two different ejection seats. It comes with the AMI ejection seat, which is the original ejection seat for the F-84 versions. But it also comes with the Mark IV, Martin Baker Mark IV, which was fitting in some of the NATO versions. And it also comes with the rockets, the wing-mounted rockets. Now, and I'll show you later. There's no guidance how to mount these on this particular version. I don't know why. It would be nice to be able to know, but for some reason why for this version it doesn't allow you to use them. There's the landing gear right there, which looks rather delicate. I don't know if you can really tell, but it's real delicate. There's no filled in areas, anything like that. And then if we can see here, if you could look inside that, so you can see some of the raised detail inside the cockpit here, but it's got raised detail on both sides. And it's nice raised detail. And then the control panel's right here, and you might be able to see the raised detail on that as well. Something I personally like. Instead of the regular flat control panel you see in a lot of the kits like Dreamwall and all that. So anyway, that's the fourth gray sprue right there. And here's the clear sprue. So you'll be able, you can tell the two canopies. So you'll be able to mold this with the canopy open or closed. With that, this is the instruction sheet. Standard Special Hobby instruction sheet. Pretty much all color. And then here are This is the mounts for the fuel tanks. Try to be able to see that. But you see down here is it only shows you the long range fuel tanks. It doesn't show any other stores. It doesn't show the rockets or the short range fuel tanks, anything like that. Which, in my opinion, is a bit of a disappointment. And then here are the 3 U.S. Air Force versions. These 2 machines are U.S. Air Force Europe. And then this U.S. Air Force. Now, I'm kind of confused about the last version here. It's described as an F-84F of the 111th Fighter Bomber Squadron, 405th Fighter Bomber Wing, Langley Air Force Base, U.S. Air Force, but it's stated as Louisiana. I always thought Langley was in Virginia. I don't know, maybe this was deployed to Louisiana at one point, and they thought that was where it came from. I don't know. Or maybe they got the Air Force Base wrong. But I was kind of caught off guard when I saw Langley Air Force Base, U.S. Air Force, Louisiana, USA. So, that's kind of strange. Also states on 24th September on taking off for training transatlantic flight to England. 4 jets of the 511th crashed, killing their pilots. Remaining 11 jets made it to Europe, including Robert Boyden, whose machine is illustrated here. So you have the survivor of a tragedy while they were deploying to Europe. So, anyway, and here are the decals. Nice big decal sheet. Of course, it's all Air Force versions here. Now, I have had experience with Special Hobby decals before. I used the decals in their Vampire for their special markings. I can't remember the boxing, but it was the one I built my Mexican Vampire out of. I did have some issues with the decals. They were kind of thick. I had some issues with them settling in the panel lines. I used all sorts of solvents to try and get them into panel lines. I was only somewhat successful, so I'm hoping they improved on this. But these, you kind of figure if they're a cartograph or something like that, they'll be marked as such. But on the bottom, all it says is printed in Czech Republic, so it's probably the company decal sheet. So you might have to work on getting these to work. Hopefully they improve them. But my experiences with the decals they're a bit of a rough deal to deal with to get them down. So anyway, with the history of this particular aircraft here, it didn't really see a whole lot of combat. The only bit of combat worthy of note is an incident in 1962 where Turkish F-84F shot down a pair of Iraqi IL-28 bombers because they crossed in their airspace. It was deployed quite a bit, especially during the 1961 Berlin crisis. But it doesn't have much of a combat history. So, but anyway, what do I think about the kit? Well, I like it. As I stated, I do have issues with the fact that you do have extra parts on here that would make it a better build, but unfortunately, they don't give you instructions on how to use those parts. And I am talking about the rocket pods or the rockets and the smaller fuel tanks. It just shows you basically. It shows you 3 versions of the Air Force aircraft in ferry configuration. Sorry about my word spaghetti there. It doesn't show them in a combat load or anything of the sort, just basically while they're flying to Europe. So, but now if you still have the old Airfix or the Italiary or the PJ Molds kits, if you're fine with building those, have at it. You know, if you got the sword version, um, I do have the sword RF-84F and not the F-84F. And I can tell you that the sword version, it is a uh, short run model kit. So when it comes to construction, and I'm assuming that the F-84F version that they did sell is of the same type of production as the RF-84 kit is. It doesn't have any pinholes to line them up, so you have to do some manual lining for the fuselage and the wings and all that. You would have to do some sanding, get some parts to work or parts to fit. Overall, though, I mean, with a pretty decent amount of work, you should get something that's pretty good. However, I would assume because of the tooling of this particular kit, and I've kind of noticed that, yeah, they do have tabs on here as well, construction tabs. So construction for this particular kit will probably be a little bit easier when it comes to aligning. So, but if you have the previous kits, basically what I want to say is that if you want to build those kits, go for it. If you're looking for a replacement for those kits, this is a good replacement. This is a very excellent, very well engineered kit. It's more proof of the fact that modeling manufacturers are still trying to improve their game. Special Hobby's always been one of the top of my list when it comes to 76 scale aircraft. Sorry about that. Um, it's been on top of my list for 72nd scale aircraft, but um, if you're looking for a replacement for the Airfix kits, there you go. You have it. You know, Airfix, the Italiaries, the older molds, because the Airfix and Italian kits are like, the moldings are like 50 years old. So they still suffer for some of the older issues that the older kits do, with lack of detail, raised panel lines, no cockpit detail or little cockpit detail, some fit issues, stuff like that. But when it comes to this coming out, yeah, I think it's the best of 72nd scale. And it's rather affordable too. Now, when I got the kit off the Special Hobby website, I got my kits for about $22 each, and shipping from the Czech Republic was $12, and I bought 3 kits, and the shipping price was $12, and you really can't beat that. So I haven't seen this boxing here in the States as of yet. As a matter of fact, I checked the Sprue Brothers website and I checked Squadron and a couple others. This first boxing, it hasn't been announced. The second boxing has. Um, Squadron has the Operation Musketeer boxing as a pre-order for about $28-$29. So if you include that with shipping, I would think probably about $35, $35 maybe. I don't remember the exact shipping rate from Squadron would be. Hopefully it's much better than that, but on average, it seems like shipping is about roughly starting around $10 and goes up. So, but anyway, yeah, they had it for about $28, $29 on the website. Special Hobby, I was able to get mine for about $22 plus the affordable shipping. So if you want to get this boxing off the website, I'd recommend doing that. It's much cheaper. You'll probably have to wait about. It took me about 2 weeks to get mine, so shipping time isn't really that bad. Now, about the kit, if I was to give it a rating, I would say. Now, this is without building it as of yet. This is just in a box kind of thing. Due to the fact that it's got some extras in it, it doesn't show you or give you instructions on how to use them. However, the molds are nice and crisp. The panel lines are very, very, very fine. They're not deep. They're well within scale. I would give it probably 8.5 out of 10. I'm hoping down the road with the Operation Kadesh / Musketeer boxing And I would recommend Scalemates is um, a very good source of checking out moldings. If you plan on buying a model kit and you want to find out if it's an original model kit from the manufacturer or if it's an older model kit where it came from, I would recommend using Scalemates to check out the history of the model kit. Now, of course, with this model kit, you won't have to worry about it because this is the brand new tooling from Special Hobby. Uh, a lot of times, though, when they do a model kit, depending on how new it is, sometimes they will have a copy of the instruction sheet listed. Now, I checked Scalemates for this, and I checked Scalemates for the second boxing, the Operation Musketeer boxing. Unfortunately, they both have the instructions on the website, but for the Operation Kadesh version, it has this as the instruction sheet for now. I don't know if they'll ever change if they get a hold of the instruction sheet or not. But if you go on the Special Hobby website, once they release the model kit, they will have a PDF of the instruction sheet, and it should be the instruction sheet for the actual kit itself, not for that particular boxing. So when they release that, hopefully, if they use the rockets and stuff like that, and whatever that big thing is on, that's on the same sprue as the fuel tanks, hopefully there'll be uh, some type of information what it really is. Hopefully those instructions will show you how to use those rocket pods. So if you want to wait a couple weeks for Special Hobby to release that, and then go back on site to find out how you mount the rockets on the wings and all that, then I'd recommend get the kit anyway because you got the parts. All you need is just instructions how to mount the rockets. So anyway, it's a damn fine kit. I do like it. I enjoy it. Um, Hopefully sometime down the road I'll get a chance to jump on it. I mean, I do. Yeah, even though I don't plan on using any of the Air Force Europe markings on it, I do have Air National Guard markings hanging around here in the house. So, and then of course it'd be nice to build one of these in the Southeast Asia scheme, being that most of the Air Guard units and early on in the years the Air Guard units actually operated them in natural metal, but over time they had to repaint them into the Southwest Asia scheme due to the possibility of being deployed overseas. So I've got plenty of markings for all that as well. So eventually I will build one of these and I'll put them in one of those schemes. So, but anyway, I'm hoping you guys enjoyed this review, and I wish you guys a good night, and let's get those modeling faces on. See y'all later.